Hey YouTube, David Staples coming back to you with another video. So in some of the classes that I teach about security and really some of the kind of more foundational level classes, one of the topics that we talk about is spam. And we're not talking about the canned ham stuff either. We're not going to be frying this up. We're not going to be having it for breakfast. This, of course, is the unsolicited email. And while we're doing this, I hope that you'll consider click on that little subscribe button for me. We're going to take a look at an example of an actual spammer right now. So I'm sure that everyone watching this video has probably received some spam at least once in their life, right? If you're anything like me, you can go into your junk folder and actually see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of spam messages that come across on a very regular basis. So I actually had someone contact me this morning asking about a particular message that came across that looked like it might have been some sort of virus or spyware, some sort of malware. They weren't real sure what it was. And so after I took a look at it, I said, let's go ahead and actually turn this into a video. So the message that they received was basically just one of those, thought you might be interested in this, and it was a link to go out and visit this website. And that link then forwarded to another link, which then would eventually forward you to a third site if you clicked on one of those links to try and purchase or to try and sell you some safflower oil, CLA I think it was called. So we're going to kind of take a look at the progression of this process here. So the first thing that we would do is basically take a look at the link that they were sent in the email. It looked something kind of like this, except that instead of having David Staples there, of course it had the receiver's name there, so it was www.b9x9.news1524.life/David-Staples. So let's just go ahead and visit that, and of course it will actually take any name that you put in there. I just changed it to my name just to protect this person's privacy. As you can see, it forwards to weight-loss-fitness.com. I can put in, George Jones, and they actually own a total of, I've found 12 total domain names involved here. So this one just randomly picked fastforburnlost.com. I can put in how many domain names do you own? And as you can see, it just randomly picks a domain and forwards to it. It really doesn't matter what you type in there. You could say, I love the sound of music. I'll pick fat7lost.com. You could say, do the hokey pokey. And again, it's basically just going to pick a random domain and forward over to that. So let's just kind of scroll down through here. It looks like TMZ is endorsing this. Obviously, I don't think TMZ is going to be endorsing a spammer. But if we scroll down through here, you'll notice that there are a bunch of links to CLA safflower oil. Again, CLA safflower oil, CLA safflower oil. You see what they're doing? Essentially, they are trying to establish some sort of authority for CLA safflower oil for that particular phrase, and perhaps try and kind of gain a better ranking on Google or one of the other search engines. So if we just kind of pick one of these links, they all go to the same place. It goes to this premium-quality-cla.com, where if you scroll down through here, I mean, it looks like a somewhat legitimate place, right? I mean, it's an authorized Amazon #1 bestseller in weight loss supplements, 550,000 satisfied customers, 110,000 Facebook fans. But let's take a look at that Facebook fan thing, shall we? If we scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll see where it says follow us, and there's theoretically some social links. Well, notice how when you mouse over them, they don't even actually turn into a link. So I can't actually even go visit them on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube to verify them that way. Now, I do see where they are apparently using a security certificate here to at least provide encryption for the process. But you'll notice that, of course, I can't click on this safe purchase, tested, inspected, and guaranteed. I can't click on any of the information down here. Now, if I click on their terms and conditions or the privacy policy, I do see where it actually comes up with a toll-free telephone number. So perhaps we'll give them a call here as well in a very short order. But let's just kind of trace down this little rabbit hole first here, shall we? So we'll go ahead and close out of that for right now. So I wanted to see what types of domain names, or how many domain names I could find that they own. And so far I've come up with this nice little list here. So this is the first link in the process, which will then, of course, automatically randomly forward you to one of these 10 different domain names. And then when you click on the link from there, it will then take you to the last one, premium-quality-cla.com. So total of 12 different domain names that we have here. And so when someone goes and registers a domain, obviously they're having to spend money for this, right? So curious as to how much they were paying. They're basically registering for a 1-year period. So I went and just tapped in a random domain name here, helloworldthisis.com. So we see that it says that for $10.69 per year, we could register this domain. So if we've got 10 domains there that are all .coms at $10.69 a piece, we're looking at roughly $107 that they've spent just for 10 of those domains. Add another $10.69 for the other .com, and then the .life was on sale. I think it said for $1.89. So total, they're into this for, what is that, roughly somewhere short of $120. So not a huge chunk of change, but enough that perhaps if we can get them shut down, at least be a little bit annoying, right? So we're going to go ahead and kind of do some research and just figure out who actually owns these domains. So I went ahead and actually ran what we call a whois on each of those domains. So we can see news1524.life. A whois is essentially a way that we can actually see who owns the domain name. When you register a domain, you're supposed to give them your name, your contact information, telephone number, email address, that type of information in case there's any sort of issues that someone needs to contact you, they can. So if we take a look at news1524.life, just by going to whois.com and running a whois on that domain name, we can see that it says that it was registered at Namecheap, which is the domain registrar that I just showed you the prices from here. We can see that, again, it was a 1-year registration, says it was registered on July 18th, 2017. Here it is, July 20th, just 2 days later. We can see that they're using name servers ns1.stevedns.com, ns2.stevedns.com, which I hadn't even really quite noticed yet. So we're just going to see who owns SteveDNS as well. So let's just do whois.com and click on whois. We'll say stevedns.com. And it says that is owned or registered through Aranet International Limited, which was itself registered on April 4th, 2017. And looks like that is based out of China, which doesn't really surprise me too much because I found another record here based out of China. But we'll take a look at that when we get to it. So I'm just going to go ahead and move this tab right over here to follow the other one. So we've got news1524.life. We've got our stevedns.com. We've got burnfatdiet-zerofast.com was one of those. So it as well was registered through Namecheap. We see this one was registered back in May. Of course, they're using their own DNS server, ns1.burnfatdiet-zerofast.com. And you'll notice something very common on most of these records, that it says that it is whoisguard protected. So what is whoisguard? Well, sometimes people will actually go through all these name registries to basically harvest email addresses and telephone numbers to be able to give people a call and try and sell them other services, basically telemarket to them. So if you want to maintain some privacy, you can use a company kind of like whoisguard, which will basically put their information in there along with basically like a client ID. And then basically if someone needs to contact you, they can email that particular email address, and it basically all gets filtered through this whoisguard. Now you can see where it says that we hate spam just like you do. So we have the ability to report spam received from a whoisguard protected domain. And if we click on that, you'll see that it says sometimes spammers who use whoisguard to protect their true identity. We have zero tolerance policy to such behavior. We will try to take the immediate action, which may even include terminating the offending domain name if it is under our control. So we'll contact them as well, see if we can find any other contacts information for them. Looks like they're actually in the Republic of Panama, so don't really have a telephone number to give them a call, but we'll certainly fill out their form and see if we can make some progress that way as well. But coming back to these other whois records, so we looked at burnfatdiet-zerofast.com. We've also got fastforweights-losses.com. We've also got fastforburnlost.com. We've got fat7lost.com. You'll notice that all these are registered through Namecheap and all using WhoisGuard. We've got fitnessmz7burn.com. We've got lostdiet7tmz.com. Remember that little TMZ logo at the top of the page? We've got lost7fat.com. We've got lostfat-7diets.com. And then the next one, we've actually got weight-lost-fitness.com. So this was a little interesting in that it actually says the registrar was bizcn.com, which if we pull that up, we can actually see that that's kind of all in Chinese. And unfortunately, my Chinese is extremely rusty. I'm going to see if Google can actually translate this here for me. And looks like there it is. So that's for the most part going to be in English. There's probably going to be a few issues here and there. But we'll see if we can actually find maybe a abuse email address to be able to email them as well. And hopefully we can get that part of it shut down as well. But looking at the domain registry a little bit further here for weight-loss-fitness.com, we see where it says it's registered to a Jerry Boyer Corporation Limited, at 340 Collinswell Apartment 349 in North Madelineport, Iowa, 96003. Well, there's a few problems with that. So let's start off with the postal code, 96003. That doesn't sound like Iowa, does it? So I went ahead and put that into Google Maps, and apparently that is Redding, California. Okay, well, not anywhere near Iowa, but how about North Madelineport, Iowa? Does that even exist? So we'll come over here. And when we search for North Madelineport, Iowa, it comes up with Davenport Schools, North High School here, but not quite the same thing. Davenport, Iowa is not quite North Madelineport. So maybe they just mistyped that, right? Looking here, we do have a telephone number, so perhaps we'll try and give them a call and see what happens. Chances are it's probably not a valid telephone number, though, right? But before we do that, we'll just keep on moving down here. So bizcn.com, of course, does show that it is registered over in China as well. So again, we might have to use one of these email addresses to contact them. Continue on, we've got the waitforlostdiet-tmz.com. Again, with TMZ, we've still got Namecheap as the registrar, still who is protected. And then we've got premium-quality-cla.com, which was the final domain that everything points to, where you can actually try and purchase these CLA products, right? Or the safflower oil, I suppose it is. So again, that's registered through Namecheap. Registration date was May of 2017 for a 1-year domain. Then, of course, it is protected by WhoisGuard as well. So we can pretty much tell that all these domains are probably going to be owned by the same group or by the same company, by the same individual perhaps, and basically are just trying to get anyone and everyone to purchase their products. So this is basically just dirty marketing, and they're using spam to try and spread these links. So one of the interesting pieces about this was that when the person received the email, it actually was from, or appeared to be from, someone that they knew. So that means that one of two things had to have typically happened. That means that either someone got hold of some sort of a mailing list that was full of contacts of this person knows this person, or perhaps one of them has some sort of spyware or virus, some sort of malware that was able to basically harvest that information because they said that the email address that it was actually sent from, or that it appeared to be from, was similar to the person's real email address, and it contained their real name, but it wasn't exactly their email address, or at least not the email address that they had the contact for here. So looking at all these various different records, let's just see if we can kind of start getting in touch with someone to kind of maybe get some of these sites shut down here. So before we do that, let's go ahead and actually just fill out this form here. So we're just going to say, Joe the plumber, and we'll just say 123 Main Street, and we'll just say that they reside in Redding, California, and we'll use this fake zip code just like they did. How about 12345? And then we'll say area code, how about 202-555-1212, and no@way.com. I'm not putting my information in there. Rush my order, checking availability. Oh, I hope they still have some in stock, right? So then, of course, it's going to ask for our credit card information. Yeah, I'm not giving you my real credit card information. Now, they do actually verify this, so let's just put in some fake information here just to show you. So we'll just say, pick a month, 2021, CVV, how about 567, rush my order. And of course you can see that it actually does decline it. We do have the telephone number here for premium-quality-cla.com, so perhaps we should just give them a call. What do you think?
Thank you for calling customer support. Please hold while we connect your call to the next available support specialist.
Thank you for calling customer support. My name is Nicole. What is your first and last name so I can quickly access your account?
Hey, Nicole, I don't really have an account quite yet. Do you guys sell a lot of your product, though?
We do.
You do?
What product are you looking into?
Well, I'm looking at the safflower oil CLA stuff.
Yes, and did you have some questions?
Well, how many products do you guys sell besides the safflower oil?
Let's see. We have the safflower oil. We have a forskolin. We have a garcinia. We have a bunch of different weight loss supplements. I can give you our website where you could take a look.
Sure. What is that?
Order-securely.com.
Okay. So
and you'll be able to see all the products that we offer.
Oh, okay. So that looks basically just like the premium-quality-CLA.com that looks like you guys.
That may be another one of the websites that were provided.
Okay. Yeah, all I really see here is just the safflower oil. But are there any other URLs that you've got? Any other domain names that I can check out?
Let me take a look here. I'm just trying to see if we have anything else that I can give you.
Okay.
Okay, let me place you on a brief hold while I get that to pull up here.
Okay.
I do thank you for holding for me. So I'm being told that that's our only website now. I do apologize for the misunderstanding. So go ahead, take a look and see on there. There should be, let me take a look. You should be able to see like the mosquito bite patches. There's all kinds of different products that they offer. We have a brain supplement. We have a skin cell, which is for a skin tag remover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all I'm really seeing on there is just the CLA safflower oil. But maybe yours is just pulling up differently than mine for some reason here. Very interesting. So where are you guys based?
For sure. Out of Utah.
You're out of Utah. Okay. What part of Utah?
Give me just a moment. Let me pull up the information for that particular company. We answer the phone for many different companies, so
Gotcha.
It just takes us a moment to get to all the information.
Okay. Yeah, any information you can get me would be great. I just want to make sure I'm doing business with someone legitimate, right?
Most definitely, and that's Pleasant Grove, Utah.
Do you happen to have an address for them?
The fulfillment center is 881 West State Road, number 140-507, and then Pleasant Grove, Utah, 84062.
Okay. Do you have any other?
Anything else that I can assist with?
Do you have any other addresses for them by chance?
No, that's the only one.
Okay. Do you have another telephone number for the company by chance?
Give me just a moment. I have here is 888-422-9040.
Okay, I think that's actually the number that I called you on. Yes, it is. So, okay.
Okay, so that's the only number that we have. Is there anything else I can assist you with at this time?
No, not a thing at all. Thank you very much.
No problem. You have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for calling customer support.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the CAN Spam Act pulled up here, and of course it says don't use false or misleading header information. Don't use deceptive subject lines. Identify the message as an ad. Tell recipients where you're located. Tell recipients how to opt out of receiving future email from you. Honor opt-out requests promptly, and monitor what others are doing on your behalf. So just to kind of show you what this email looked like, I'm going to blur out names and whatnot in here. This is essentially the email that was sent. It was, I thought you might like it, with a link, forward to, and then of course the recipient's name, and of course I'll be blurring out all this information here. So that obviously does not comply with the CAN Spam Act. So we'll go ahead and keep on pursuing here a little bit further. So we're just going to go ahead and keep on digging down the rabbit hole here and see what else we can find, see who we can talk to. So remember that one of these records also had a telephone number on it for Mr. Jerry Boyer, or Mrs. Jerry Boyer, I'm not sure which. But we're just going to go ahead and give that a call as well just to see what happens. So 636-920-9043.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again.
Okay, so obviously that's not even a valid number either. So I think we've got plenty of information and plenty of evidence to go ahead and actually start emailing someone like Namecheap, or calling them perhaps even, just to see what they would like to do. And we've got another telephone number here, so let's just see if we can get a hold of them.
Thank you for calling. To leave a message, please press 1. To leave a fax, press 2, or begin faxing at any time.
Wow, okay. So no telephone support there either. So I suppose at this point, we should probably start filling out some emails with all this information and send them in. I'll kind of keep an eye on things and see if the domains actually do get shut down. And one last thing, before we go, let's just see where these websites are hosted, shall we? So if I pull up a terminal, we can say ping premium-quality-cla.com. Okay, so that gives me an IP address. So we'll take that IP address. Can I run a whois on this here? Looks like the IP address is from PSINet. So how about trace route, put in that same IP address, see if we can find who the hosting company is. Okay, so my last hop here before we get to the actual IP address is m247.com. So let's just find who m247.com is. M247. Okay, so it looks like we have at least an internet service provider here, which appears to be overseas. And this is probably going to be their hosting company as well. Let's just check out a few of these other domain names just to make sure that they're all going to be at the same IP address. So we'll just start off with ping news 1524.life. News 1524. Okay, how about ping, that was what, www.b9x9.news.news1524.life. So that gives me another IP address of 134.19.187.19. So ping that IP address next. So we're just going to list these IP addresses just right over here. So ping premium-quality-cla.com. We'll mark down that IP address right over here. How about ping burnfat diet-zerofast.com. New IP address for us. Looks like they're spreading the love around here a little bit, right? Ping fast for weights losses.com. Another IP address. Okay, so now we've got all these IP addresses. Now we can track down ISPs and web hosting providers and get them to basically start taking a look at some of these different things and see if we can kind of shut these down maybe one by one. Looks like they're using at least a few different hosting companies here, so assuming that those hosting companies don't just have these really wide ranges of IP addresses assigned to them. But looks like I've got a little bit of work ahead of me, but we're just going to go ahead and contact those hosting companies and see if we can report these abuse cases and get them shut down from there. So stay tuned. We'll post a follow-up video later. You never know what's going to happen. Sometimes they'll shut them down. Sometimes they say it's just not worth it, that they just know that this kind of stuff happens. But we'll go from there. So until the next video, hope you guys are doing well. Be sure to click on that subscribe button down below if you enjoyed this. And I'll see you very soon. You guys take care.